Yarbo's gone pro. This is Yarbo's Pro mower module. I've covered the original module, the standard, the one they've had out for years now. I covered it in a previous video where I reviewed it with the core for the Yarbo, but now we've got a Pro module. You're gonna wanna stick around to see what this thing can do and why this one might be the best option for you. What makes it so pro?
Okay, let's go.
Hi, I'm Chris at Gadgets and Gravel. I was sent this for testing review purposes. However, neither Yarbo nor the PR agency will get any input on the video or see it before you, so they're gonna see it right along with you for the first time. So, with that out of the way, Yarbo Pro module. On the outside, this looks a lot like the original one. I'm gonna put a link to that. It'll pop up somewhere up here. But I'll put a link to that so you can check it out and see what see what it's about, see what you can do with it. Visually, they look very similar. The Pro module has this nice little Yarbo badge on the top of it. It's got Yarbo Lawn Mower on top and Pro in red on the top. So red is gonna be your indicator of a Pro or standard module, aside from the badge here. Let's take this thing off of here so you can see the other part that we got going on with it. So aside from these two visual changes up top, the sensors are all the same on this mower compared to the standard. What is different though is the camera. While it's not necessarily a different camera as far as I can tell, as far as I've been told, it does sit higher up on the front of the mower, which helps with a few things. One, it's gonna be less likely to get blocked by taller grass, and it's gonna so to have fewer instances of seeing something as an obstacle that it can't pass. And it also helps you have a higher point of view on any objects on the ground to avoid hitting them. Your other indication of the red, right here, right there. That's our other red indicator. That's how you know this is a Pro module. Without flipping it over, you can kind of see the red on the ground. But once we flip this over, that's where we get the big changes. Right here, see these right here? These are straight blade discs. Every lawnmower, robot lawnmower that I've tested and I've seen all uses a razor blade. The standard model does too. And this one does come with the cutting discs that uses the razor blades. Even the cutting discs are slightly modified and changed from the standard disc. So I'm gonna put some video in here so you can see the differences between the two cutting discs, but we'll get to that in a moment. So if we look at this, aside from these cutting blades here being different, we also have slightly different build on the bottom side of this entirely. So Yarbo redesigned the bottom of this and reinforced it and gave it more structural strength, because aside from the cutting discs and a redesign, that was all necessary to handle the larger motors. So the original mower module has two 150 watt motors, individual motor for each cutting disc. This one doubles that. So you've got 300 watts per disc, or per cutting module, motor, whatever you want to call that. So we're getting a lot more power. And with these straight discs and more power, this has to be redesigned because this thing can cut some serious grass. Yarbo redesigned this to be able to cut anything from your standard lawn down to 0.08 inches. That is another difference of this. We can cut a lot shorter with this mower deck, up to 4 inches, which is what we can cut on the standard. So we're cutting a wider range of grass, but also the types of grass we can cut. Aside from your typical lawn, this can cut tall, wet grass. This field behind me used to be planted and farmed. And last year we decided not to do that. We just let it go back to grass just to expand our yard a little bit more. Kind of helps with a few things around the property. But in that process, not treating it, not doing anything to it, it started to get overgrown with some weeds, some nasty stuff. And I cut it a few times, just kind of letting it regrow itself and waiting for this to show up because I wanted to test the claims that this can handle tough grass. So I set it on the path to cut on this thing, and we're cutting inch round size grass, stems, sticks, some nasty weeds in there. And I let it go through the grass on its own and just start cutting and see how it did. I knocked some of it down a few inches so you can see how it would do with some pre-cut. And then I went through and I brush hogged with my tractor, cut the rest of it. And it's been maintaining this property out here. And it's doing a great job. It is some serious grass. I'm gonna put some video so you can see how that's doing in there. But outside of that, let's finish talking about what we got different here. We've got different blade guards on this side. This is the difference as well. You can see on the bottom side of this, I have not washed this out. I didn't clean this out before I showed you guys. This does a much better job of not clogging up and not having things mat underneath it. The straight blades do make a difference, but I didn't have any issues with the cutting discs either. So this has been doing a fantastic job. We still got the steel rake up front, nice little flap on the back, which helps with striping if that's something you're into. If you're trying to do a real low cut grass on your lawn, the striping looks a lot better than across my mess of a yard I've got out here. So those are big differences in the physicality of this mower deck. It does have the rain sensor on top is different. You can see the difference between the two, between the standard model and this Pro module. The rain sensor is a little bit different. I'm not sure if it's more sensitive, less sensitive, or just happens to be a different part, and that's literally all that's different. But that's our difference there. So, cutting. So I've kind of talked about how well this does in some taller grass, but I've been running this across my lawn, normal grass, this heavy, nasty stuff back behind me, and all the places that I was mowing with the standard module before, I've been doing with the Pro. Both with the cutting discs and with the straight blades, and it's done a great job. I do think on normal grass, I feel like the blades on the cutting discs does a little bit nicer of a job. It could also be that these straight blades have just been beat up running through this pasture grass behind me, and could use some sharpening up on those. But either way, it's done a great job. I do notice that camera, whether the sensors are different or not, or it's purely because of the camera height and it's just a better job, I've had much better luck with the Pro module not getting stuck or getting lost or confused of whether it can navigate around a little patch of grass or a tree or something like that. It's done a much better job of that. So that alone has been a massive upgrade for me. The standard module is good, but it did seem to get confused a lot, and this has made a much better job. Now, in terms of the app, there's no difference in the app. When you connect this, the app will recognize that you've attached the Pro module, but it doesn't open up any additional settings. Not that I've found. I've looked everywhere trying to find additional settings that changes anything based on this, and I have not found that. It does notice it's a Pro, but you don't get to indicate whether you're using the straight blades, the cutting discs, or any of that other stuff. So keep that in mind. It does know it's a Pro module, but it doesn't change the app, so we're not gonna have an app section in this. Outside of that, there has been no issues whatsoever. The Pro module has been fantastic. So in the end, if you can afford the increased price on doing the Pro module instead of the standard, do it. If you already have the standard, should you change? It really depends. If you've been having good luck with yours, keep it. If you can sell it to somebody who maybe has more needs for that one, maybe do that. But unless you've got grass that you're wanting to cut down at 0.8 inches, or you've got some really thick, heavy stuff that you're constantly having to fight, it may not be worth the change to you. But if you're buying one for the first time and you can afford it, definitely go with the Pro module. Now, I've got some more videos coming up. Yarbo's got some stuff coming up that I'm working on. We're coming into fall, so I'm gonna have the leaf blowers coming up. I'll be testing that, showing that off. Wintertime, we'll definitely be breaking out that snow blower. So stick around, lots of new stuff. I did see when I was in Berlin, if you've seen some things floating around, Yarbo had out there a test module for a Pro core. Now that would be pretty interesting. The differences I found out then is it does have a LiDAR sensor on it, which would be really cool for some navigation and location and object recognition. Will be fantastic to have that added in. It also came with brushless motors in the core, so it was dead silent and more powerful. So hopefully that comes out and we can test that for you too. But I got more mowers coming out, more testing for that coming up. Got robot vacuums, some cool new stuff I'm working on, so definitely stick around. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss anything. Really appreciate it, helps out the channel a ton. So if you have any questions, drop them down below, and look forward to seeing the next one. Thanks for sticking around.
Okay, let's go.